for blockchain, NFTs, and Metaverse. So I'm just going to
Yes,
go
ma'am.
through a few issues um, regarding all the above. I think I touched on some the last during the last session, but I can just touch on a few today as well. So I'm going to start with um, NFTs and legal issues that surround NFTs. The first issue that surrounding NFTs and projects that we find in the NFT space is the securities laws. So I'm sure we know what NFTs are now because the last few sessions you have done some research and presentations on NFTs, and you know that they're non-fungible tokens. But then the issue with these tokens is that many of them actually have dual, sometimes triple characteristics where they're able to be, for instance, a token can be a securities token and it can be a utilities token at the same time. So those peculiar traits bring about something tricky for all these regulatory agencies, right? So it's a bit difficult to segregate the different characteristics that the NFTs have. But what we have found out, at least with the MICA or MICA Act that is coming out in Europe, is that NFTs are, if they are fully NFTs and they don't have any securities characteristics whatsoever, they're classified as NFTs, and the law really doesn't um, I won't want to use the word regulate them for now. It's still a gray area. However, the concentration is more on tokens that have securities features where people are investing in them and they're expecting a profit, is being run by an organization and things like that. So firstly, we'll say security laws. And then secondly, obviously financial regulations, because when it comes to tokens, you're looking at AML, CFT compliance with the tokens. You're looking at, KYC or KYB or KYT, which is know your customer, know your business, and know your transactions on your whatever project it is that you're on. And then, of course, with NFTs, definitely IP regulations, intellectual property is paramount. Who owns the copyrights, the trademark issues, and all of that surrounding NFTs as well. And then the usual, IP, data protection or data privacy, cyber security, taxation. How do you tax tokens, And then there's jurisdiction. So people are buying tokens from projects from all over the world. When disputes arise, what happens in those certain circumstances? So we are looking at jurisdiction as well. And then when we come to blockchain itself and crypto legal issues, we are looking at paramount legality. Is it even legal? In many areas, it's banned. In some countries, it's just a gray area because it's not banned; it's restricted. In some areas, it's there's no ban or no restriction, but then there are no laws yet. Okay, while in some regions, they are beginning to have some sort of legislation and guidance principles and things like that. So we can see that it's very unstable or unbalanced at the moment when it comes to blockchain. But at least with the MiCA coming into power, we'll find that a lot of regions are going to start coming out with their own regulations that deal with cryptocurrencies and crypto tokens, stable coins, and the like. And then, of course, after we are looking at legality, whether it's legal or not, or whether it's allowed in certain territories, then we are looking at the same thing with NFTs, financial regulations. When you are dealing with blockchain projects or any crypto project, you definitely need to be looking at your AML CFT compliance. And again, same thing, KYC, KYB, KYT. And then, of course, securities laws as well, because many of these currencies or tokens are actually financial instruments in most cases. So you have to look at that as well. And then again, with the regular data privacy, cybersecurity, taxation, we know that digital assets now are taxable in Nigeria, being added to the regulation. And then there's also the issue of jurisdiction as well, IP regulations and the like. So those are some of the things that you're looking at when you're talking about the legal aspects of blockchain and NFTs. And then when it comes to the metaverse, I touched on this the last time. Paramount is looking at trademarks and copyrights because, the last time we touched on certain cases, brands that are having their IP or copyrights, infringed upon in the metaverse. People copying their logos or making like products or like conducting like projects in the metaverse. So that's a paramount issue. And anybody that is dealing with on any metaverse project, you need to be looking at trademarks and copyrights, for your clients. And then there's civil law as well, because once you are starting to have disputes, with from different people in different territories, you are going to be looking at how do you handle, civil law within the metaverse. Okay, what rights do avatars have? Can an avatar be sued? Can an avatar trespass? So there are many things to look at in the metaverse, and again, there are all majorly gray areas, but mostly we lean on traditional laws and then use um, upcoming guidance principles that are coming up with metaverse standards and global best practices. So it's a mixture of both. And then, of course, in the metaverse as well, we have the usual, data privacy. I touched on responsibilities of data controller and data processor administrator in the metaverse, the collection of personal data, collection of sensitive data. I remember that I talked about um, eye movements, pupil dilation being recorded, by some of the tech giants, biometrics, there's facial recognition. It records your bodily reactions, your environment information. The VR headsets can actually see record data of your environment. It measures your surroundings, and can actually view your surroundings. So that data, what is happening to all of it. So these are some of the legal issues that we're looking at, and trying to design regulation and frameworks that can actually address some of these issues. And then, of course, cybersecurity as well in the metaverse, that is really paramount because there's a lot of identity theft going on. There's a lot of deep fakes, in the metaverse. Who will hold these organizations accountable? How will some of these protective measures be enforced? Are they even protective measures in the first place by the government and by, countries? There's a lot of hacking, ransomware and the rest, and all these general data security issues and cyber security issues. There's also AI. Now we know that there's AI regulations. There's the, EU AI Act. Other territories are coming up with their own AI principles, like Canada. There's the UN guidance on AI. The US released their own standard guidance on AI governance and all of that. There are a lot of AI bots. There are even AI influencers now, so we need to be looking at AI designing, for Nigeria at least, AI policies, AI regulation, and the like, so that we can protect, users and individuals that are playing in the metaverse. There's also the issue of corporate versus public rights. I always say that, the corporates are there in the metaverse, but then who is there protecting public rights? Who is there educating the public about their rights, creating education and awareness for them? Who is available to do all that? governments and countries are not available in the metaverse to do that. So you find that what will happen is that it's mostly the corporates that basically rule in the metaverse. So these are legal issues that need to be addressed. There's also employment law. There are lots of people that are working in metaverse. What regulations are they using? Most of them are just using traditional regulations, but there's some circumstances that are peculiar to working in the metaverse that have not been imputed into existing regulations. So those are some of the things that we need to um, be looking at. And then, paramount of all is a lack of regulation, because the metaverse is generally, I don't know of any metaverse regulations, out there. It's just the traditional laws that we have. And governments, honestly, and countries are still trying to battle data privacy. They're still trying to get on board with artificial intelligence itself. I'm not sure that any of them is really taking the metaverse seriously. It's only the corporates that are coming together to create metaverse standards, and guidance principles and frameworks for the metaverse. But we need to have government bodies, agencies, and countries actually in the metaverse as well. So this is just some of the, issues that we're looking at. We need to, at least when we're talking about understanding the law and commerce with the blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse, you need to understand that commerce is actually going on. In fact, commerce in the metaverse, they call it meta commerce. So there's meta commerce, there's e-commerce, there's a lot of digital commerce that is going on all over the world. And we just need to, understand some of these legal issues and begin to design frameworks. So where you are working on a project that has in the blockchain, NFT, or metaverse space, what you need to do is to ensure that you are compliant in your organization and on your project with regular traditional laws. Then you can now start using, like I said, best practices, global standards, to design uh, frameworks that protect, users in anticipation. It's called future proofing, in anticipation of where laws will will catch up. But while they're still behind, you shouldn't be slack as a legal advice. When you're doing legal advisory, you need to be at the top of your game, know exactly what is going on, and begin to design those frameworks. There are so many committees and workshops all over the whole world that are designing these frameworks. And you need to just, if you are well enlightened and you understand the space very well, you will be able to select a good standard, global best practice standard framework for your organization or for your project to work with, that ensures that, governance, compliance, and all of the whole 9 yards, of abiding with regulation is your project is in line with that. So once you do that, I think whatever project it is that you find yourself on will generally be a well-off project and a successful project at the end of the day. So those are just some of the, things we need to look at when we're talking about understanding that law and commerce in blockchain, NFTs, and the metaverse. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mark, for that wonderful introduction into today's topic, understanding the law and commerce of blockchain, NFTs, and metaverse. Our mentees rather were able to, um, well, though late, but they were still able to put together their presentation. So I don't know if it's possible for us to have the presentation of the mentees. Please, if you would like to go ahead, we would like to take your presentation right about now. Mr. George seemed to have stepped out, or maybe I think his network, but for some reason he seemed to have stepped out of the call. So I'm sure if we have him back, we'll also be hearing from him and his thoughts about this topic. But while we wait for that, we'd just like to have our mentees present while we commence with the rest of the class. So please, group presenter, if you're ready, you can go ahead and share your slides and then go ahead with the presentation. Group presenter, are you with us? Mr. Adeyeye, please, are you here with us? Please, can you go ahead and help share your slides and present on behalf of the group? Okay, if Mr. Adeyeye can't hear us, please, can we have another mentee just step up and present on behalf of the group so that we can just quickly have the presentation and then we can get comments and feedback from our mentors. So please, can we quickly have that? Okay. Are we sure we have mentees on call today? Please kindly confirm that I'm not speaking to myself. Mentees, please, we are waiting for your presentation. If that would be possible, we would really, really like to have that right about now. Okay, for some reason, I don't know why. Seems our mentees are not, I don't know, should I say they are not ready to present, but irrespective, I think we'll just be going ahead with class. All right. I'm sure they will be able to give a solid reason why presentations are not they are not able to make presentations. But irrespective, we'll just still like to hear from you, Ma, again. Are there any other thoughts on this particular matter that you want to share with us while we still try to see if we can get the group presenter to present? I'm sure probably because of the lateness of how late they were able to put the presentation up. That's the reason why they are not able to make presentation today. But we'll still like to just hear from you, Mark, quickly. If there are any further thoughts you would like to just share with us, Mark.
Um, do I have any more thoughts? I think I didn't really prepare for anything. But let's just talk about maybe cross-border metaverse transactions, and we can talk a little bit more about civil rights for avatars, because at least that's an interesting aspect to look at. So there's some issues in the metaverse regarding avatar deaths. Can an avatar die? Or when a person has an avatar, is the avatar made to live forever? Or does the avatar even have life? These are some of the issues that I'm not sure we're really conversant with, or we're even worried about, because we have real life issues. People have real life issues in Nigeria that they're not entirely con- concerned about, things like avatar deaths, or maybe issues of AI, like um, negligence of AI, who is held responsible. Does an AI have a life, or um, is it responsible where there's negligence? Or is it the creator of the AI or the corporation behind the AI that is held responsible when an AI um, causes an accident of some sort, because we see that artificial intelligence on the one hand um, is now converging with robotics. So where robots actually function on artificial intelligence and are actually um, carrying out transactions on their own. And then the flip side of, AI creations in the metaverse that actually now have their own personas. So I actually know of two different projects that have their AI influencers. So the AI influencers actually have a name. They are being hired for different jobs, even brands. I forget the brand that signed on. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's Naina. So yeah, there's Kira and there's Naina. They're actually influencers, and they have their own handles. They're being signed on by brands. They have their own project teams. In fact, I was surprised to see, I think it was Kira that um on 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 her LinkedIn page. I don't even know whether to call her how it or whatever. But it's a female AI influencer in the metaverse. Okay. So it's a she, but it will say she because it's female. It is female. So she announced that for any brands that wanted to sign her on, they needed to contact her virtual assistant. And in my mind, I'm like, AI influencer too you know, is now having an AI assistant, a virtual assistant. So it was just funny to me. She actually has an office. She has where she receives her mail. So times are really changing. Things are really happening, and the legal aspect of these things need to actually be spelled out quickly, because lives are being affected by these creations that we call them, because they're actually physical people that are working on the team with an AI influencer, for instance, in the metaverse. So I believe that it's an area that we need to seriously look at, especially when it comes to designing of these frameworks and these laws, as opposed to government not being concerned about what is happening. I know they have more pressing issues, but they need to segregate and create certain teams that are able to handle all of this going into the future. And that's the reason why economies like Dubai, Singapore, and the like are moving ahead. Even China, it's just that China is more of a communist country, and in the way that they do things. But when you look at Dubai, when you look at Singapore and some of these other nations, they're actually creating R&D, for these future emerging technologies. So these emerging technologies, they have lawyers who are there, you know, drafting policies, creating guidelines, designing frameworks that can work, for these new technologies, while there are others definitely that are dealing with present day issues. So it's something that is really important, and where we can, what I would advise for those who are just starting out is there are several research groups, being part of, this group in itself is part of doing the work. There are other groups as well, international groups where candidates are selected from all over the world, discussing and brainstorming on, the blockchain and NFTs and the metaverse and all these standards that need to be created, all these policies that need to be created. So you need to get involved in all of these projects. There are so many, and many of them are free to join. You really don't need to do that much. All you need to do is apply. And in application, you keep building your CV and the amount of projects that you're on. So even from this project, you move to another project and another, and you volunteer your time, um, to create this impact. Because whether we like it or not, the future generation depends on what we're doing today. And so if you can be part of those that can impact the future, by taking part in the research, especially the legal research that needs to be done for the future, yeah, it's extremely beneficial. So I just want to use that opportunity to commend you all for getting involved, because that's the most important part. And when you get involved, it's a continuous process. It's not get involved today and then tomorrow you are nowhere to be found. You keep getting involved, you keep showing up on a daily basis to create this impact, because a lot of things are happening, a lot of things are changing. And in the next 5 years, where we're going to see the world by 2029, is going to be a very, very different place with AI, the way AI is going. And so we need to be part of that process. So I just wanted to encourage everyone here to keep doing what they're doing, and to keep active in the space. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Ma. Right, such encouraging words and still further insights into the subject matter of today. I think officially this will be the last, if I'm not mistaken, last class for the blockchain. Other subsequent classes for our mentees will be will be combined classes that they will be joining the other mentees in the other groups to have particular courses. And thank you so much, Ma, for all your shared knowledge coming from week one down to this particular point. It's been truly, truly interesting diving through NFTs, metaverse, and then NFT metaverse, and then ultimately blockchain. It's just been wonderful hearing from you and also Mr. George when he's able to join in for sessions. It's been such a wonderful experience, and I'm sure our mentees can also say same. To those who are able to still be here or are currently on call right now, I want to say thank you for all the time that you have put into that you have put into making sure that you are available for class. And I'm sure that what you have learned has not been in any wise a waste of time. It has been a building block for you to gain more knowledge, gain more insights, and then just set the tone straight for you as you move forward. As you move forward, trying to build your career in this particular field or in this particular area. Okay, considering that okay, we just have Miss Buki and we are not having any further thing except our question and answer. I would just like to ask, okay, yes, okay, Mr. Favor, please, you can go ahead and ask your question.
All right, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Buki. Thank you very much for always giving us insightful session. Really appreciate. So my question is, you were speaking about getting engaged and joining. All right, so I'm a final year law student, and then I'll be finishing my by just asking if there is maybe internship opportunities where maybe we can get internship in that place that you can give us so that we can further delve into blockchain and get first-hand experience on the subject matter. So that's my question basically. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Favor, for that question. It's a vital question. I believe there are many internships out there. But I find that those that are in the Web3 space, might not have as many opportunities as they would like. If you're talking about just regular internships with law firms all over the world, now there are a couple of um, internships that are available. But specifically for Web3, I would say there are not that many. So you really need to keep your ears to the ground. You really need to fix yourself up with a mentor. It's good that you are in a place like, where we are today, and you have mentors that are, coming to train you. Generally just make sure that you are attaching yourself as best as you can to those mentors. That was what I did when I was starting out. Those I attended webinars and they were mentoring us. I made sure that I was emailing them, I was sending them messages, I was anything I could do. And mentorship, a person could actually mentor you from afar. The person doesn't need to do one-on-one. You can follow the person's activities on LinkedIn, you can send messages, you can ask questions. There are lots of things that you can do. And actually, I am actually working on something for those specifically in Web3. So just keep your ears to the ground on LinkedIn. Certain opportunities come and go. Some people, I know, for instance, there was a time Law Pavilion was doing a 6 month internship for those that were interested in AI, for instance. And that internship was only open for 6 months, and that was it. And I don't think they've even done any other one because I tried to find out as well for some people that were looking for internship. So for instance, that kind of internship, it was posted on LinkedIn. It's those that saw it that were able to avail themselves of the opportunity. So just make sure that you're out there. You're with JIIPCC here now. Make sure that you are, connected to those that are running the program. You are in touch with them, because when they hear of things, they'll generally make it available to you. They hear of special programs, or anything that is happening, or somebody somewhere is looking for a volunteer for certain project. Yeah, this person, Favor was on this project with us. It may be someone that is interested in it, and they send you a message. So just make sure that wherever you find yourself, you're connecting to those that you've been opportuned to meet. And then from there, you will definitely find internships within the space that you want. It's just that, like I said, you have to look very well and keep close to the people that are within that ecosystem. And it's not just internships with firms alone that can be beneficial. There's internship with associations. There are other tech organizations that require interns. So it's not just the law firms alone. You can actually gain from doing certain programs. Like I know there are several cybersecurity programs that are out there, maybe running for 6 weeks, 3 months, some 3 weeks. There are some that are very short. There are some that are quite long. There are some international programs that are open for 2 months. So just keep, and follow tags on LinkedIn, follow tags on Google. So if you follow a tag, for instance, internship opportunity on LinkedIn, and you follow that, every single time anybody tags internship opportunity, you will see that tag. Okay, so you follow that and you make sure that opportunities, websites, you are following them. So it will be easier for you to get those opportunities when you keep your ears close to the ground and you're following, the people and the activities and the tags that you need to be, you get one. So that's my advice. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. I'm sure Favor was listening to that, to your particular insights and contribution on that question that you made. So, Favor, and to the rest of our mentees, we just want to advise, go make sure you put yourself out there, follow our mentors on LinkedIn, make sure you are following them, make sure you are keeping up with the activities and what they'll be posting, details and informations they'll be sharing on their own platforms. I'm sure you would get to see one or two opportunities. And once we are done with this mentorship program, we do add our mentees to a special alumni group where, when there are particular updates that we would like to share with those who have gone through this program for volunteering and for other levels or grades of internship, we do post those um, we do post those on those platforms. We post those informations on those platforms. So I would just like to encourage you to still keep up and follow what we are currently doing, all right, with the with JIIPCC, even after the mentorship program is over, right? The learning in itself doesn't end with the program. We still try to, as much as possible, try to integrate to the best of our ability, setting opportunities for our past mentees to take advantage of this particular program, so that whether the case be that they are currently with us or not with us in that instance, they still have the opportunities to gain further knowledge and further experience and further placements in their roles and in their line of career. Once again, we'd just like to say thank you, Ma, for just sparing out your time for these past 5 weeks to just being here with us and sharing your insights and your thoughts. We are really, really, really grateful. Today's class happens to be a very, very short one, but I'm sure, irrespective of the time frame or the timeline that we've spent here in class, it has been worth it. And we look forward to also having you, Ma, in subsequent quarters, right, where you also come and mentor a new batch of mentees. Thank you so much once again. And I think with this, we've come to the end of today's session. I wish everyone a wonderful night's rest, and I trust that moving forward, we'll all meet ourselves at the very, very, very top. So thank you very once again, Miss Buki. Thank you to our mentees on call and to the organizers of the JIIPCC mentorship program. We say a big thank you and good night, everyone.
Good night. Thank you so much. I'm well done.
Yes, thank you, Mark. Bye bye.